In this video, we're going to learn about a story about two friends trying the Whistling in the Woods challenge, and they end up meeting a skinwalker. And what happens at the end of the story is going to make it hard for you to sleep tonight. Trust me. Two best friends went into the woods at night for a stupid YouTube challenge. Only one of them came back. The other one, he was never found. But that's not even the creepiest part, because the only one who survived told the police something was following them in the trees. Something that could whistle, something that could copy their voices, and something that kept calling to them from the dark, like it wanted to come closer. At first, everyone thought it was fake, just another internet horror stunt, another made-up challenge for views. When the footage was uploaded from their camera, people noticed something in the background, something tall, something smiling, and something that should not have been standing out there. Tonight, I'm going to tell you the full story of the Whistling in the Woods challenge, and some people believe that if you hear whistling in the forest after dark, you're already too late. So turn off the lights, make sure you're alone, and listen closely, because this story only gets worse the deeper you go. There were only two rules. The first rule was that you had to go into the woods after dark. And the second rule, if you heard whistling, you were not allowed to whistle back. At first, people online treated it as a joke, just another dumb internet challenge, something teenagers filmed for views, something people copied because they thought nothing bad would happen. You know, the kind of challenge I'm talking about. The type where somebody stands in front of a camera, laughing, acting fearless, making jokes, saying stuff like, "Guys, if this video gets 50,000 likes, we're going even deeper into the woods next time." And then later, the account goes dead. Their comments fill with people asking where they went, and nobody ever gets an answer. This story started with two best friends, Eli and Markus. Both 17, both the kind of guys who thought they were smarter than everyone else. They had one of those small YouTube channels where they posted challenge videos, overnight dares, abandoned places, fake ghost hunts, everything that might blow up, but none of them actually ever worked. Most of their videos got a few hundred views, 1,000 if they were lucky. So when Markus found a thread online talking about something called the Whistling in the Woods challenge, he thought it was perfect. The rules were simple. Go into a forest at night, walk far enough that they can't hear traffic from anyone, turn off your lights for 1 full minute, then whistle 3 times. Wait for a whistle back, and if you hear one, run. Eli laughed when Markus showed him. He said it was obviously fake. Probably just another made-up creepypasta invented for clicks. But this was exactly why Markus liked it, because fake or not, it sounded good on camera. So that Friday night, just after 11, the two of them drove past the edge of town on an old trail surrounded by dense forest. The place had a name locals knew, Black Pine Trail. Not because the trees were actually black, but because once the sun went down, the woods seemed to swallow every bit of light around them. Markus parked by a rusted gate. Ellie held the camera, and right away, the joke started. "Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Tonight we're doing the whistling challenge in the woods." Markus grinned into the lens. Apparently, if something whistles back, he dragged his words out dramatically, then we're not alone. Eli laughed behind the camera. "Bro, if some random dude whistles back, I'm leaving you here." Markus turned to him. "No you're not." "Yes I am." "No you're not." "Okay," Eli said. "Maybe I'll think about helping." The whole time they were clowning around, neither of them noticed something strange. The woods went quiet. Too quiet. No crickets, no rustling, no distant dogs barking, nothing. Just the sound of their shoes on the gravel and the low hiss of wind slipping through the trees. They crossed the gate and started down the trail. Markus had a flashlight. Eli had a camera light. Together, the two beams cut through the darkness in narrow white tunnels. Everything outside that light looked thick and endless. The deeper they went, the more the trail changed. At first, it was wide and easy to follow. Then it narrowed. Branches leaned over it. Roots pushed up through the dirt like bones under skin. Every now and then, the camera picked up shapes between the trees that almost looked human for a split second. until the light hit them properly and revealed broken trunks, hanging vines, or old stumps. About 15 minutes in, Eli stopped. "Wait." Markus turned. "What?" "Listen." They both stood there, still, the camera trembling slightly in Eli's hand. At first, Markus looked annoyed. Then his face changed, because Eli was right. There was no sound, not even bugs, not even leaves moving on the ground. It was like the whole forest was holding its breath. Markus forced a laugh. "Okay, that's actually weird." Eli lowered the camera a little. "Maybe we should just film the intro and leave." Markus shook his head. "No chance, this is the best part." He pointed ahead. "Come on, we go a little further, do the whistles, get a reaction, and we're done." Eli didn't answer right away. Then he finally sighed. "Fine, but if anything actually weird happens, we're out." Markus smiled. "Deal." Another 10 minutes passed. They were deep enough in the forest that turning around didn't help. The trail behind them looked just as unfamiliar as the one ahead. Their lights hid tree after tree after tree. Every trunk looked the same, and that's why they found the clearing. It was small, circular, surrounded by pine, like a pocket of open ground hidden inside the forest. The dirt there was bare, no grass, no bushes, no fallen branches, just flat earth. And in the center, there was a dead deer. Not torn apart, not bloody, just lying there stiff and still, like it had dropped dead mid-step. Just lying there, twisted awkwardly. Its eyes were open, reflecting the camera light like glass. Eli immediately backed up. "Nope." Markus stared at it. "Dude." "Nope," Eli repeated. "That's bad. That's a bad sign. I don't care if it's from a sign from nature, a sign from God, or a sign from a psycho in the woods. We're leaving." Markus didn't move. For the first time that night, he looked genuinely nervous. But then he glanced at the camera, at the blinking red light, and you could almost see the thought going through his head. This would make the video even better. He turned towards the lens, again, trying to sound confident. "Okay guys, we found this clearing, and this is definitely creepy." Eli snapped at him. "Stop doing commentary and let's go." Markus ignored it. "We're gonna do the challenge right here." Eli stared at him like he was insane. "Are you serious?" Markus nodded. 1 minute, then we leave." Eli muttered something under his breath, but he didn't walk away. Markus took out his phone and opened a timer. 1 minute, he said. He handed Eli the flashlight. Then he looked into the trees around them. The darkness beyond the clearing forest looked thicker than before, almost layered. Like there was more than darkness standing out there, watching. Markus swallowed. "Ready?" Eli didn't say yes. He just lifted the camera. Markus nodded anyways. Then he turned off the flashlight, and Eli switched off the camera light. Instantly, the world disappeared. No moon, no trail, no trees, nothing. Just black. A deep, suffocating black that felt less like darkness and more like being buried alive. For the first few seconds, neither of them moved. They could hear each other breathing, the faint rustles of the clothes, the slight shift of tone against the dirt, and then something else. A sound far off in the woods. Not a footstep, not a branch snapping, just soft movement, like something large slowly circling the clearing. Eli whispered, "Markus." Markus whispered back, "Shut up." The timer ticked on. 10 seconds, 15, 20, and then something was behind them. Something whistled. Low, thin, human, 3 notes, clear as day. Eli inhaled sharply. Markus fumbled for the flashlight, but his hands were shaking. Then before he could turn it on, another whistle answered from farther to the left. Same 3 notes, but wrong somehow. Like someone had heard a person whistle once and copied it imperfectly. Eli whispered, "Turn the light on. Turn it on right now." Markus clicked the flashlight on. The beam flashed across the clearing. The dead deer, the trees, nothing. But the moment the light came on, the whistling stopped. Neither of them spoke for a second. Then Markus said, trying and failing to sound calm, "We got it." Eli turned to him. "What?" "We got the whistle on camera." Eli looked like he wanted to hit him. "Forget the camera, we're leaving." Markus nodded fast. Yeah, okay. They started backing out of the clearing, keeping their lights on the trees. And then Eli froze. The camera shifted. The beam of light followed his stare. At first, Markus didn't see it. Then he did. There was something standing between two trees. Farther back in the dark, perfectly still, too tall, way too tall. It looked like a person at first. Long arms, bent legs, head tilted slightly to one side. But as the flashlight trembled over it, the shape stopped making sense. Its limbs were too thin in some places and thick in others. Its shoulders were raw. Its neck was way too long. And the face looked almost human. The way a mask looks human. Enough to fool you at first glance, but not enough to feel real. Its mouth was stretched way too wide. Its eyes caught the light in a pale animal shine. And then it smiled. Markus whispered, "Run." They ran. Not back towards the clearing, not carefully, just blindly. They tore through the woods, with the camera jerking wildly, flashlights beaming and bouncing off branches, trunks, and empty dark spaces that looked like open mouths. Eli was in the front, Markus behind him. They could hear something crashing through the trees after them. Fast, way too fast. Sometimes it sounded on the left, then on the right, then directly behind them, like it wasn't chasing them. Like it was playing with them, hurting them. Eli shouted, "This way!" But Markus yelled back, "I can't see!" The camera caught flashes on their faces, wide-eyed and panicked, both of them gasping for breath. Branches whipped at them, roots snagging their shoes. At one point, Eli slipped down a muddy slope and nearly dropped the camera. Markus grabbed his arm and yanked him up, and for 1 second, they both looked back. Something was moving between the trees, keeping pace, not fully visible, just glimpses, a shoulder, a hand, a face. And then, it whistled again, closer this time, right behind them. 3 notes, mocking them. Eli screamed and sprinted harder. The trail was gone now, if they've ever been on one. They were just crashing through raw forest, guided by fear and the weak reach of a flashlight that kept shaking in Markus's hands. Then suddenly, Eli stopped, so hard Markus slid into him. In front of them was a drop. Not a cliff, but a steep ravine cutting through the woods. Dark, water moved below. Maybe a creek, maybe deeper. No way to tell. Too wide to jump, too steep to climb quickly. Markus whipped around. "Go left!" But the crashing sound behind them had stopped. The woods went silent again. That silence was somehow worse, because now they know it didn't need to chase anymore, and knew they were trapped. Eli swung the camera around. The beam landed on the tree behind them. Markus breathed hard. "Where is it?" Eli whispered, "I don't know." Then from the darkness to their right, a voice said, "I don't know." Both of them went still. It was Eli's voice. Exactly Eli's voice. Same tone, same panic, coming from the trees. Markus slowly turned his flashlight towards the sound, and there it was again, standing between the trees. Closer, tall, bent, smiling, its mouth hanging open just a little bit too far. Then Markus's voice said, "Go left." Eli made a choking sound. Markus backed towards the ravine. The thing took 1 step forward. Its joints moved wrong, like it had learned to walk from watching people, but it never gotten it right exactly. Then it whispered again, softly, almost playful, and lunged. Everything after that became chaos. The flashlight flew out of Markus's hand. The camera slammed sideways. Branches filled the frame. Dirt, shouting. Then the sound of someone falling, hard. Eli scrambled to his feet with the camera still in his hand and screamed Markus's name. No answer. He spun in circles, filming nothing but darkness. Then he found the flashlight on the ground and grabbed it. The beam flashed wildly across the ravine, the trees, the dirt. No Markus, just the woods, in silence. Eli yelled again, "Markus!" Nothing. Then, from somewhere deeper in the trees, Markus's voice, faint, desperate, "Eli, help me!" Eli whipped the light toward it, but there was no one there, just darkness. And then again, "Eli!" Same voice, a little farther away now. Eli took one step toward the sound, then another. He was crying now, breathing in a broken, panicked burst. "Markus, where are you?" The voice answered immediately, "Over here!" Too fast, too perfect. And that's when Eli realized something was wrong. Markus's voice wasn't actually echoing through the woods naturally. It sounded close no matter which direction it came from, flat, like it was being thrown at him. Then, behind him, right next to his ear, something whispered in Markus's voice, "Don't turn around." Eli did, and the camera caught it for half a second. A face inches away from him. Not Markus. Something wearing Markus's expression like stolen clothing. Its smile pulled too wide, its eyes dead and pale, its skin stretched and uneven. And then the footage cut out in a burst of static. That's the video people found 3 days later, uploaded automatically to their channels at 3:12 in the morning. No title, no thumbnail, just raw footage. Comments exploded instantly. Some people said it was fake, others said it was the best horror marketing they've ever seen. But the police didn't think it was funny, because Markus's bike was still parked at the gate. Your backpacks were found on the trail. At nearly a week of searching, they didn't find a soul. Thank you guys so much for watching another episode of Sleepy Hollow. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, and comment what your favorite part is. And if you want me to cover another story, leave in the comments and I'll definitely check it out.